Hi, Pep. I think there was a game against Palace last season, and afterwards Oliver Glasner was talking about like high-intensity sprints, because the part of his style is like to have a lot of sprints and intensity. And I think at that time, City were like bottom of the table for like sprints last season. Going into this season, do you remember a few months ago there was like City have run the most, and like there was a big increase in sprints. But you were saying running too much, maybe. So coming into this season, was that something you really wanted to improve, the energy compared to last season? But then with so much running, did you then have to say there's actually like a right level? You shouldn't run too much. You have to find the right balance.
No, running a lot is so important, and that make you win games maybe, or doesn't play good, but be the levels that we had that season, avoid to make it ridiculous. And always you have to try to do, don't be embarrassed yourself. And when you run in that ways, you'll never be embarrassed, and that's happened. And the levels are required us to do it, at minimum that. And after we see what we have to do with the ball, we have to do the patterns, or be more effective and effective. That is what you have to, how is it to do? That's why I said, when I said the expression that the season has been exceptional, has been really, really good, is for that reason. So we cannot regret anything in that term. So we had done many, many good things.
A completely different question. I don't know if you saw this a couple of days ago, the La Liga Twitter account, they posted an AI video of Barcelona greats, like Cruyff was on it, Ronaldinho, Messi, you were on it. What do you think about AI and the fact that as a famous person, anybody could make a video of you?
The world is not scared, because in the world happen many other disaster things that I think about that. But I saw in ChatGPT on the other one some statements and comments in Twitter. The other one, I never done. So I remember a month ago I said Pep choose the best 11 of his career. I never done that. I never did it, and I'll do it, and I will never do it. We'll have more respect for all the players I had. And Pep said that, and the people start to say, Pep, they choose the players and the other players. And of course, I'm concerned because they put words in the people like it's in even public figure. It doesn't matter the subject, and say the statements that you have done, how you control that. But that is the danger, the fake news and the incredible linked things that it's not happened. That the ChatGPT, you have to make an exam or have to do something. You go there, they do it for you. You don't have to work here, and I don't know what's going to happen in the future. To be honest, I don't know.
Is that something you talk to your children about, I guess?
Sorry?
Is that something you'll talk to your children about, to make sure that they still use their heads rather
My
than...
children are adults again. They have a boyfriend and girlfriend, so they are adults enough. But of course, it's completely the subject that we had in the past, because in social media said, and today, put your faces there. Said, I didn't do this interview. So, but yeah, it's what it is.
Hi, Pep. The end of this season is 10 years that you've been at City. I wanted to ask about the change that you've gone through at the club in terms of kind of the playing style, because...
Playing style?
Playing style, because the principles are the same, but each of the different versions of your team have had kind of different ways to play. How much has that been driven by you?
Oh, it would be so boring. Do it in 10 years, the same training sessions, the same way you had to play against the same different opponents. It would be so boring. So boring. If I had to do game plan every day the same, and they play 5 in the back, no? Crystal Palace more zonal, so the opponents, they don't play 5 in the back sometimes, so it's different. So it will be so boring. I had to change. No, I don't want to do the same. And especially because the players are different 10 years ago. I don't have company now. Company is playing the semifinals, the Champions League, so we are not the same.
How much of it is also driven by kind of what the opposition do to try and stop you? Like how much is you having to adapt to what other teams have done to adapt to you?
We are an unstoppable team, so that's why they have to adapt. No, sometimes, yeah, adapt. Yeah, of course, the managers are different. The way they play. When I arrived 10 years ago, it was different. The managers, they were there. I don't know. When I'm eldest one, no. The most language service in the manager still I am. So they change a lot of manager change, and that's why the new ones, the new ideas, and most of them are new ones, the new generations, incredible, well prepared, and the technology that change a lot. Yeah, you have to adapt, and it's nice. It's really, really cool in that terms.
Hi, Pep. There's some tiredness among the players, I'm sure, but with just a few games left in the season, is it where everyone's kind of sticking the hand up and saying, I want to play every game?
Sorry?
Is every player kind of just pushing through that tiredness for the final few weeks?
Right now it's no tiredness. It's just last games of the season. And it's 1 week and a few days, so a lot of games in this time, and next one is Crystal Palace.
And I know you never want the players to get too up or too down, really, but there's an FA Cup final, Premier League still going, kind of it. How much excitement is there within?
The same like it was weeks ago, so it's tomorrow 8 with our people and our fans is the previous last game in the season Etihad this year, and always we prepare with a fresh and with a mentality to win the game and go there. This is what they have to do.
Yeah. Hi, Pep. Jeremy Doku's finishing the season really strongly.
Yeah.
He's still only, 23? And presumably, is there a lot more to come from him? What are the sort of limits on him and how far he can progress?
I think not just finish. I think all the season has been really good. Really, really good. And the limits in him. The players want to be better, will be better. The players live all his life trying to be a better player and prepare the bodies and mindset to be better, will be better. Depends on him. Players always belong to them, how we want to become.
And I know you said you're sort of relaxed about Crystal Palace and their team selection for these two games against you and Arsenal, but we've seen a lot of this the last couple of weeks. Aston Villa and Forest both made a lot of changes before their last semi-final. Villa lost at home to Tottenham after 8 changes, I think. Is this something the Premier League, without talking about Palace specifically, but as a general principle, is it something the Premier League has to be aware of? The danger at this stage of the season that teams might put out what would be construed as weakened teams?
Leave the managers do what they have to do. As much as less the Premier League is involved in all the decisions, will be better for all of us. So leave the Oliver or the managers do what they have to do. So no problem.
Hi, Pep. Obviously been out without Rodri for a few weeks. Are you able to sort of explain what goes through your mind when you're setting up the team when he's not available? Someone that's sort of powerful and can read the game like nobody else in that position on his own. Like, how does that impact how you select players in sort of other positions, sort of tactically?
Right, as I said many times, I've been almost 1 year and a half without him, and he's the best player in his position when he's fit. The team feels better with him, but we had now Kovac coming back, and Nico and Saleh help us a lot, and sometimes you require this type of players or this type of things in some players to do what they have to do, and we have Bernardo Berni played last game. It was exceptional, but really, really exceptional. The game we played against Brentford, him, and really pleased with that.
Because more means because you could obviously play Rodri as a solitary 6 on his own, but without him you probably have to play 2. So does that have a knock-on impact on sort of further up the pitch?
Yeah, sometimes we play 2. Sometimes in the match we play just 1. Sometimes they rotate. But it depends. But of course, so we have a really good player there in that position. So last season Rodri was not there, but I said many times, was not just him. People believe it's him, no. Because this season have been 3/4 of the season without him, and look how good has been. So it was many, many other reasons, nothing there were, especially we have many, many injuries and other subjects, but of course the team is better with him. That is an obvious reason, but when you are not there, we cannot see it and wait, it's coming back, you have to move on, and we have done it, and that is really good.
Hi, Pep. Palace have been good from set pieces this season. This season in particular, have you had to change your preparations for games in terms of the opposition set pieces and how they are refereed in and around the goal.
Yeah.
In particular, the referees. What are you saying, that you have to be more engaging? You have to engage more, and is that?
It's been said. Everything has been said.
Do you think that's a good thing for
Crystal Palace? The rest, it has been said. It's a question for the referees.
Hi, Pep. Is there a chance Rodri could miss the World Cup?
No.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Well, yeah, there is a chance with De La Fuente don't select him. That is a chance. But I think we'll take care incredible fine of him to be in the World Cup.
Hi, Pep. A lot of pundits seem to think that when Arsenal won on Sunday, that was the end of it. You've got to still believe there's a chance that they'll...
We play tomorrow at Etihad.
Yeah.
And we go to Bournemouth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the last game in Aston Villa here, we do it too.
How important is it to take it to the last day, Pep?
Important is tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens to the next one. So always I learned when you lose the focus, you are in dangerous situations. So, and always I think that only we can do when we can have to do it better. That is only in control. So, and we lost the two finals FA Cup because the referees didn't do the job that they should do, even the BAR. The two finals, the FA Cup. And when that happens, it's because we have to do better. No, for referees in BAR, I never trust anything since I arrived a long time ago. Always I learned that you have to do it better. Do it better. If you're in that position, do it better, because we have to blame ourselves. That is what you have to do, because that is a coin, and you have to do better for yourself. And that is Crystal Palace, and focus. Of course, it's not in our hands in that particular Premier League from the other one. And always I said the place when I arrived here was in Barcelona by Munich guys. So do it better, because the other one is a job for the statements of institutions that rules and the competition.
Just a quick one, Pep, on Nathan Ake. He's hardly played this season, but you've brought him in for some big games and he's done great, hasn't he?
Listen, Nathan is maybe sometimes not reliable in physicality, but there is a few players more reliable when they play like him. What the job has to do, in terms of what he has to do with the ball or without the ball, in terms of focus, Nathan is one of the best I ever face. It's just unbelievable. The problem is sometimes when it's every 3 days, it's struggle. But look in the final, the Carabao Cup or semi-finals or last game, for example, against Brentford, like it's completely Shade and Thiago's and how they attack him behind, the space and the pace, and they do it. Wow, Nathan is a part of that. Is one of the most incredible teammates for the manager, teammates for his teammates, like ever. Incredible sign from Bournemouth, incredible sign for this Turner. We played the final Champions League in Istanbul, so that means how reliable he is. Top guy and top player.
Do you think he might want to move on in the summer, Pep? Because you are
half contract, I think 1 more year, right? I wish he stay with us. I wish he stay with us, but I don't know what's going to happen.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, thank you.